Complexities turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Complexities turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back for Game 2 in this Best of 5 American Showdown. It's Complex Gaming taking on Digital Chaos. Currently, Complexity coming in as the pretty heavy favorites here, having recently done quite well in many international competitions, are leading 1-0 against Digital Chaos. I'm LD, I'm joined here by Merlini, and I believe we actually have a special guest also joined us, the man, the myth, the legend, Grant himself. Grant, are you with us?
I believe I am I?
You are with us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Interesting game one, but side of complexity, so I'm doing pretty good. Team with more Americans ended up winning.
What's TDAC stand for?
10 seconds.
I don't know why.
It says your clan. You're part of clan TDAC.Grant.
Oh, I have no clue. I think I just added like a year ago. I have no clue how to get rid of it.
Okay, I was just curious.
How do you get rid of clan tech?
It's in the bottom left of your friends, and then you click teams, and then it says like my
Sick.
pro info. No problem.
I'm
dude.
so glad we're having this valuable learning moment together here, guys.
I'm sure other people are curious. What the heck is TDAC.Grant?
What does it stand
Well,
for, Grant?
do you know what? I mean, Ben, you remember TDA, correct?
Team Dota All Stars, but what's
Yeah,
the C?
on Dota 1, it was a league in like 2007. Some guy invited me to it when I first joined the beta in like 2011, and I don't know, I never left it.
Okay, well, on to this draft. Phoenix, first pick. He was my pick for most picked hero at the Manila Major.
You still stand by it.
I just did it today, so I hope I would.
Yeah,
I'd be a
okay.
fickle human.
Well, Phoenix won a game. Phoenix got picked, so you're off to a great
I
start.
was like,
here.
he's not quite that good to get banned out of every game, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you can kind of pick him.
Oracle's still been very popular, and Complexity going to grab it here. Along with the Invoker, do want to mention that we're alternating which team gets choice. Game 2 was DC's choice, and it was Radiant. Complexity, bit of a switch up. They chose second pick.
Yeah, that is weird.
That is not something most teams do.
I've known in America it's actually been happening a lot. Shazam prefers Radiant in second pick as well. I don't know why it's just the top 3 American teams. Like Freedom still prefers Dire, but DC, Complexity, and Shazam all prefer Radiant and second pick. I don't know why, but
I think second pick's better than first pick because you get last pick.
10 seconds.
I think that's the biggest thing. But why do you think they prefer Radiant? Is it the jungle or?
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure.
Seems like a lot of teams actually have been tending towards Radiant more lately. I'm not sure on the win rate stats, though. I know Dire was like 56% in the last patch.
Yeah, I still think it's too early to tell. Roshan got nerfed a little bit. It's not as important as it was in the prior patch. And what did they change about Radiant? I don't really think that much. So I'm not extremely sure.
I think it's a lot harder to gank the Radiant jungle, and it's a lot easier to stack as well for the Radiant side. I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but I think it's a lot easier, especially with where the medium camp is now, to be where the big camp is. I think it's a lot easier to farm. It's like a hard carry there.
Some people say it's easier to gank the Radiant jungle now, though,
Really?
because of that camp right below, that ramp right below Roshan. That ramp makes it a lot easier.
I guess
because
smoke ganking's a lot easier, yeah.
Because
But I still think regular ganking's a lot harder.
yeah. But remember, like at TI5, like C-Deck would play Dire a lot and then take control of the Radiant jungle. A lot of teams still do that, and it's easier than before. So.
Oh, okay. Can we talk about the PL versus Invoker matchup? A lot of people I've noticed seem to think Invoker should win that matchup. When in fact, the PL should win that. I think
early.
90% of the time, PL should dominate that lane to like level 8 or 9. Like, and
Well,
last
that
game we
was-
saw it was stomping.
That was
And
what we
that's how it should
saw at Shanghai, where MVP would just run the PL mid and crush Invokers with it. But I guess what we're seeing a lot is teams are giving help to mid, even more so than they used to. So it's rarely like a straight up 1v1. We saw the CM helping out a bit. The Phoenix was there for complexity. Now they have the Oracle pick, maybe a support they will at least carry a TP on to assist the mid lane a bit. But yeah, it seemed like the PL definitely got the upper hand. But again, that was with the Misery Enchantress, which DC have totally ignored this time around. It was their first pick last game, but guessing they feel like they have to switch up.
Yeah, and
They can do a lot on any hero, though, I think.
Yeah, you really can. I'm just surprised they're still banning the Wisp instead of the Tiny. I think Shazam figured it out. It was during the Epicenter qualifiers. The Tiny is way bigger of a deal than the Wisp is, but maybe DC finds it different because people seem to forget Shazam was one double damage rune away from beating Complexity and going to Epicenter, and it was all because they just started banning Tiny every game and leaving Wisp and Complexity not picking Wisp.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the Tiny's a much bigger deal. We saw how useful it was last game. And back to the Invoker PL matchup. If they were that scared, though, they would have just swapped up Tiny to mid and put Invoker to safe lane. So I don't actually think they cared that much about the matchup.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's just, I think PL just does. All he has to do is land a level 3, just like 3 lances and Invoker's gone. Unless he's going Quas Wex, which is terrible this patch, there's not much invoking.
But he wins you to lane, but not the game, though. PL
Exactly.
was kind of useless.
Yeah,
past
didn't
that.
it? Invoker died, I think, twice, and then at 15 minutes, highest net worth by like 2k. It was pretty.
Yeah, he had so much space that game. So focusing a little more on game 2, guys, and looking at some of the other picks coming out now, we do see the Earthshaker grabbed by Complexity, and DC will change it up. They get the Shadow Shaman. Thoughts on the Shadow Shaman? This has been a hero that's like occasionally reared his head. There was a period like 2 years ago, I want to say, where Shadow Shaman was pretty much first pick every game material for the wards, but generally considered a weaker laning support and something you could punish. Do you guys think this is a good Shadow Shaman game?
Misery played it very well earlier in the qualifiers, and I think Digital Chaos perform a lot better when they have the option of pushing. For example, last game they could not push. Pushing into the Invoker plus their other heroes was just impossible, like Phoenix Sunray. But with this game, like Shadow Shaman is really good at pushing, and if they want to, they can draft another core that pushes, usually we. But I think that it gives them more options other than sit back and farm, and Digital Chaos simply perform better when they have that option available to them.
Complexity going to grab the Bristleback here. Won't be an IO partner, but they have the Oracle, so... actually, so the event you had brought up is, maybe a DC option, just a tanky, like, offlaner who can pressure a bit more, but...
They banned so many offlaners. 1, 2, 3, 4. They
Darkseer also
banned Darkseer, and they took Earthshaker. So there's almost none left. I can pull up the same page that I just did
There's
before.
Batrider.
There's Batrider.
But there's an Oracle.
And
an Earthshaker.
it's not great for Bristle. So there's Timber.
Yeah, I think
Timber's
the
good.
biggest thing for Complexity is, I think we've seen it today and yesterday. It seems Mood been on a little bit of a downswing.
Yes.
Lost that lane, what was it, first Clockwork? It was an extreme, Brax destroyed him in lane, and then even this game, like last game, his Sand King didn't quite do it. I think they're maybe just trying to focus, Swindle's the kind of captain to see that, like, oh, Moo is having a bad week. If we just focus on him, it takes another guy out of the game, and we can just do it.
10 seconds remaining.
And DC, they will grab the Lifestealer, so great hero against Earthshaker, Oracle, potentially, if you can get on top of them. The Bristleback, however, very tanky and not an easy hero for the Lifestealer to bring down, so still lacking that vehicle for the Lifestealer, and Nature's Prophet getting banned, so not expecting like the
Ban all of Moose Heroes.
I mean, Jesus.
I think
That's 5 offlaner.
Timbersaw,
Alright, there's
Bat
still
Rider, Void, Brood,
Still Brood.
Tidehunter, Slaughter next.
I think that I don't think they're gonna go Brood versus an Earthshaker Bristle. I think Tim likely, but Complexity has to know that. They're like, saw still in third, and maybe they want him to pick it because that seems like the most likely pick for.
What other ones are? Oh, I don't think Faceless Void is that great. Enchantress would be, I think decent for them.
I haven't seen an offlane Enchantress in a while now.
I have not.
Not a lot, yeah.
Tidehunter I actually think pretty good too. I think someone who's not as farm dependent because PL and Lifesteal take up a lot of those needs.
So, are we saying where's Earthshaker going for Legacy? Are we saying it's support or it's an offlane? Or we don't know.
10 seconds remaining.
I think more likely support at this point.
I think so. I think Z Freak plays a pretty sick one.
But they
Someone
have
else
that
loves that
flexibility, right? So that's kind of the nice thing about how Complexity is drafted here. Whereas for DC, like you know it's going to be the mid PL, the Life Stealer, almost certainly to the safe lane, and then looking for that offlaner for Moo. I mean, maybe they will change it up, but
Slaughter, I
they
think, is
feel a
actually
little more
decent.
predictable.
Slaughter's a good Blink initiator. Doesn't get owned by Oracle.
It's decent Life Stealer vessel too. Work.
Get healed up by that Sunray.
And they go
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Bat Rider, but they picked it into Oracle. I mean, even Invoker pretty good against Bat Rider initiation if he has like a decent position or vision on him. So Moo's gonna have his work cut out for him here, guys.
Yeah, I like how they really did just focus on Moo this whole banning phase, even picking phase. They just focused on Moo, and I think they got what they wanted. The Bat Rider, like you said, is just super countered. Long range Earthshaker, ultimate by Oracle, any spell by.
Is there any chance they put Wii on Bat Rider, Moo on Lifestealer, and Resolution on PL? Or is that just not a good option because of Invoker?
I mean, they have to put PL middle. I've seen Resolution play it. They've done it before. It's possible, but you have to put the PL. So, it matters.
Fair enough.
And the Void, the last pick. So it will be the support Shaker with the Void. Could be a very awkward combo. Even Bristleback. These heroes do not have the easiest time comboing, but they get some control here. They get some late game team fight and potentially a way to focus down that Life Stealer, even if he is raged. So interesting last picks from both teams actually, and not really what I would have expected.
I think the
and
Void
I
is-
did it, guys. I remembered to remove the draft overlay.
Nice.
So
You did it.
chat, be nice.
I think Void's great here. It's really good at dealing with the Lifestealer. His time dilation owns Bat Rider. Also very good at dealing with Shadow Shaman. I don't know who's going to be playing the Void though, because I think Void would struggle a lot versus Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think it still has to swindle. They could just send a Oracle or Shaker Bristol like aggro. I mean, it's not the worst tri lane, but I don't know about that.
I think that would give
5
way too much
seconds remaining.
Probably, but I mean, a Bat Rider. I mean, you're expecting him. He's just gonna go to the junk sometime anyway. That far, maybe you just want him to stay in lane and not do that. Possible.
Alright, so last game we saw 4 TPs to drop wards. This time we see 1.
Wait, did DC play? They do before the clock above the.
2.
Was it above the ancients?
No.
Oh,
No.
wow, okay. They've learned that everyone knows that one now.
Yeah, we've definitely, the NA teams have been, there's been like, what, 3 or 4 major qualifiers, and we just had the Manila major qualifiers as well,
Yep.
so these teams have seen a lot of tape on each other lately, especially DC has had to play a lot of games, so Complexity has a lot of footage on them as of late. For a mastermind like Swindles can definitely come in handy, but teams are going to move out to the lates now. We'll see Swindles heading down bottom as the Void, so it will in fact be the Swindle Void. Resolution already giving him the claw, letting him know he means business here, so they'll be running the safe lane. Shaman boots first. Oxa, we get to see where he settles, but probably starting off in that bottom lane. It is the PL mid and the Bat Rider off lane, so standard setup for DC. Looks like a pretty standard setup for Complexity as well, with the possibility Chessie the early magic stick, so it looks like they are expecting him to lane against the Bat top.
Yeah, I think that's super smart. But I mean, we've seen PL just dominate Invoker. If you can get him somewhere else, get him farm, he'll just come online a lot quicker than he did last game. And I mean, quick.
Yeah, that Chessie had a real rough laning stage. This time there isn't an Enchantress, so I actually think he'd have a bit of an easier lane, but They just want to secure his farm.
Exactly. And Invoker, he's gonna find. I mean, I've seen a Monkeys forever, like, I think a 17-minute Midas, and he still came online. They won the game in the late game with it. Like, laning phase isn't the biggest deal for him.
You love flaming monkeys.
I'm not flaming. He got a 17. I just said they won the game after he got the 17 Midas.
Yeah,
That was a subtle shot fired.
even with his terribly super late timing, they managed
I mean,
to
stating
scrounge
a fact is,
past
stating a
the
fact
finish
is
line.
not
They
flaming.
managed
You
to
should know
carry
that.
his heavy rear end.
Yeah,
You guys are the ones flaming right now. And
they probably
what
would have
I'm
been
saying.
better off if monkeys had DC. That's what I'm getting here.
Oh,
I just
okay,
wanna
that's
see you guys
exactly what
brawl.
I said.
Time to make a Reddit thread, guys. Alright, meanwhile, bottom lane, Swindle's taking some early harassment here. It's going to be forced back a bit on the Void. And Moo as well, kind of under the gun. Z-Freak constantly poking him with auto attacks. We're going to see the early magic stick for him, too, picked up in this lane. Is our mid lane is going to actually be the Bristle versus PL. Not a matchup we see too often, but Ben, you like this laning setup better than the more traditional, like, Invoker mid?
I don't think they should have done it last game.
But they got carried.
They got carried. but
Tiny went big.
This is just much safer, I think. Yeah, I think it's a lot safer. Bristle's not really gonna die, but we still should get a lot of farm. He has a lot more base damage than the Bristle bag.
So
And
you,
look at
do you
Bristle's
think
already out of
PL
mana.
still wins this lane pretty handily?
I think PL wins.
Just less likely to get a kill.
Yeah. And less likely to die as well.
Oh, they find Moo top though. They're going in with the cold snap. They do have a Sunstrike. There's the Fissure. Hansky with the rotation and complexity on the board first here. Clean kill, good rotation, and they actually have an Observer Ward. Did he smoke for that, or just kind of didn't see it coming?
I don't believe he smoked. I think he just ran up there. Maybe
he just ran
expected he could just firefly over the edge, and he was one hit away from getting there, and then saw
Yeah.
move, rage, ping. He's like, I shouldn't have died there. That was ridiculous. They're really putting a lot of focus on him. There's going to be a lot of farm
5
on Chesty.
bans, now a 3-hero gank. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of flattering, right? But you know, on the other,
Yeah, I mean,
having a
if
good
you're
series.
losing, yeah, and if you're losing, you're like, oh, this is terrible.
Trying to put a silver lining on it,
Yeah,
yeah. It does
I
not
think-
feel good to have that start.
I think the biggest thing is not Bristle. Batrider needs farm, while a Void, I mean, farm's good, but a Void just needs levels. And I think the biggest thing is Swindle's getting levels. He's not getting the last hits, but all a Void needs is level. He's just become so much more useful. A Bat, he can't initiate, like, unless he just flies at him or somehow, but Void can just jump in and always be useful.
Yeah, if he just
That's
runs
huge.
with them, they're going to easily be able to cold snap him, maybe later on throw out a tornado, and obviously the fissure, so... And they don't have like a Darkseer to just let him surge and go in for the last hit. So definitely a bit of a rough start, but Moo is getting a bit of experience in farm here, and I guess can go back to the jungle later. We've seen any stacking just yet. Looks like 2 double stacks, so they are setting up the jungle for Moo to catch up later. So they at least have that going for them.
I think Moo is on like tilting though. He's got his clarity canceled, tranquil hit off. I don't know. He's just not having an easy game or an easy week.
He says, screw this lane. I'm
Yeah,
going
going to
to
the jungle. Yeah, that's the best idea. Go to the woods, take the stacks, get level 6, random smoke gank somewhere, and I mean you get a kill at that.
Or is he rotating? Gonna help out his buddy Weehaw, passes off the bottle there. Now, like he'll get a stack and start farming up the woods a bit. So he's gonna abandon the lane. Instead they're gonna give it to their Phoenix. Foxa quickly sweeping in with the first dive, tries for the side pull, but Z-Freak says, hell no. Down to my
Yeah,
lane.
that's fine. Phoenix can actually get level. They don't really have shutdown besides Zero Shaker, but say that he's rotating for the rune and. Yep.
Oh, Weehaw. He's thinking about a go here on Limp, but those coils stacking up a bit too much. Doesn't want to risk giving up a kill, so... Both heroes really chipping away at each other in the mid lane. Is CS so far very even there. Lifestealer is free farming in his own safe lane, a bit ahead of the enemy Invoker, but relatively close overall. And yeah, again, they don't have like the chain stun or silence to kill off Swindle, so Void continues to have a relatively easy time. 2 games now where Swindles has had a pretty straightforward lane for himself.
And I think the biggest thing, ES is only level. Actually, he has one save. Oh, they're actually got him.
As I say that, Time Walk on cooldown, Teleport on cooldown. Maybe Swindle's gonna go down here. He got Taxi, did not get the Time Walk off, and just needs a freebie to DC.
His time walk was up that entire time. He auto attacked Misery twice, didn't Q away, he just died there.
He probably dies anyway to the Phase Boots Lifestealer, because I don't think he could have gotten over a cliff, but yeah, he could have at least made it harder for DC.
And rough. I mean, he could have forced out maybe Handskin TP too, but...
And his TP's on cooldown. Like, he has to walk all the way down bottom. That's...
Alright, good to know the caster Kurtz is alive and well.
I think it's... I don't think he saw that Shadow Shaman was level 4. I think that's what happened.
He didn't have 1 in W, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's probably the best.
He took 2 in Ether Shock, and if he's level 3, you expect 1 in Hex or 1 in his Shackle, but he actually died because he got Hex. I think like the neutrals were taking him down, and then he got level 4 like as Swindles wasn't paying attention. And then looks like he might die again here on the bottom lane.
Well, Resolution, hacking away, they get the Hex up again, there's the Rage, and he sat down Swindles!
What?
Even with the support from Handskin, still gives up a kill. Definitely overconfident there.
Yeah, he attacked the range creep twice and killed it and then died.
Oh, they're gonna lose Limp possibly as well. Z-Freak trying to save him, and is it gonna be enough? That Sun Rage is too good. Doxa making things happen, and Digital Chaos find themselves on top 3-1 here in the early laning stage. And all of a sudden, a 2,000 gold swing in 2 minutes. This early in the game, that is absurd.
Look at Shadow Shaman's form. He's level 5.5 with Arcane Boots. It's crazy.
Alright, Misery is already having a
Swindles.
really
Swindles
good series.
is like, he's trying to trade hits with Resolution, but that's not going to happen with Feast. You're not going to get him low.
I just want to say this game is not rigged.
Goodness, he's going to
dead.
die again.
Windows caught out. Hex is available. Not needed. They get him with auto attacks.
Okay.
I'm
This
just
lane
never
just
going
went
to say Elaine's good again, because as soon as I do,
and then he
bad
just
things
got level
happen.
6 at 6 minutes in. His mana boot's been 7 seconds and takes
That
the tower.
is terrible.
Well, you said Moo was
there.
tilting a little bit, but Moo's level 7. This Void level 4.
Yeah, that was
Change,
Ben who
guys.
said that. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Ben. I was like, Moo's looking good the last couple days. He's just work.
Sure.
Swindle
went.
went. It was that one death. Just I seriously don't know what happened. And then
He's already got
Swindle
wards.
just,
He's going to drop him in the tower. They are moving on to Misery. Has the TP though. Resolution has the Rage, and he's going to try to fight his way out. Does not have his own TP though. Has the Infest. Pop inside something, but everything's just so low. They likely lose Resolution here. He gets inside the Phoenix. There's the Infest. Move away. Soxka saves the day. What a sick play by DC. His Complexity have to be incredibly frustrated. The tower even went down to the wards. Misery getting the last hit. Not denied. Nothing going their way all of a sudden. Make it a 3,500 gold lead.
Moo's going to steal one of their stacks too. Because everyone's gone to the bottom lane. No. And Swindles is level 4.
Yeah, that's the best thing. They got the tower with that, and the tower cleared out. I mean, the wards cleared out 2 creep waves too. So Complexity just rotated bottom and got nothing out of it, and lost a tower and their stacks.
They do have that huge ancient stack. It is massive. It's very large.
They got Bristle.
They got Bristle, dude.
Yeah, even with that, he has level 1 in Bristleback, and Will's like, he can't just sit there and tank it. He's gonna have to work for it still.
Yeah, they have Oracle. They have Swindles who can tank it. Hopefully press time.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust Swindles to tank the ancient.
Smoke on top lane. Gonna be a difficult kill on the Invoker. Daytime initiation with Hex range.
If they get this
very
kill,
low.
he's gonna have wards. Probably gets the tower at that point, and he may just have a Blink Dagger. This is a big opportunity for DC.
I don't know if they can kill him without the wards though. It's gonna be a really tough
It's
kill.
up in 15. They're gonna try for it, and that's not gonna.
Yeah, they didn't have detection anyway. Chessie was ready, super ready.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they're
they're on high alert right now. But space created here is Weehaw just freely farming up in this mid lane.
And Limp.
He looks like he's gonna get the tower. Handskin trying. Oh, actually, Enchant Totem turns it, gets the deny, has the fissure. Weehaw though holding onto the doppelganger here. He's gonna dodge away from the Oracle nuke and gets down to the low ground. Swindles. No Chronosphere yet at 9 minutes into the game, and they really need it as Weehaw turns around, just grabs a freebie, spits in Complexity's face, walks away. They at least got the tower tonight, but Handskin having to work even for that.
And as you
And we
mentioned,
are
Limp is
reaching.
having a lot of trouble with that ancient stack. Oracle was helping him out, but
Man.
I mean,
Put the
I
life
told
on
you.
the edge. Salved up though, looks like he may be able to get it.
Freak's trying to tank it.
Oh, but meanwhile, Swindle's getting dove in the mid lane. Weehaw's going in for this, finds the lance, uphill. Can the illusion get the job done? It's not quite enough damage. He even chronos and turns on Weehaw. He desperately wants this kill, but he's actually hitting an illusion. Swindles, he can't get to the real Weehaw, who promptly kills him off. Full tilt mode, if it wasn't already activated, probably is now. Beyond frustrating, but they finally at least cleaned up the PL. But while they're busy doing that, Doxa farming up the bottom lane, getting his levels. Misery, 1,900 gold, guys. Blink Dagger coming like around.
Blink on move, middle.
They get Jesse. Moo arrives, gets involved, and that's likely a dead Invoker here. Roasted up by the Bat Rider.
And that's Misery's Blink.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
This game is just falling apart.
That's crazy. And Shadowshum is just like Lion. Like, he's a decent hero early game, but when he gets his Blink, I think PP always says this, Lion is a different hero with Blink. Same with Shadowshum. And you have someone who can instantly blink in and disable anyone. Just that one level of Hex is all you need.
And, I mean, when you're playing from a position of advantage, like, hey, that's a fine armlet, or a Lifestealer vehicle. You just go in with the Blink Hex, he pops out, Void's gonna die before he even gets to cast the spell. And so speaking of that Void, Swindles gets caught out in the trees. Again, this has just not been his game, and the struggles certainly continue now. Time Walk on cooldown for a couple more seconds. He'll live, but he is not farming. He is grossly underleveled. Tough game.
He's not doing a lot of the small things. Like, he's not managing his TPs that well. He's not spending his gold before he dies. He is clearly just not in the zone at this very moment.
This is a best of 5. This is kind of a grindy series. You know, you can have a great game 1, even dominate, but ultimately it's only good for 1 win. You need 3, and Complexity still a long way to go if they want to take this, with DC firmly in the driver's seat here in game number 2.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. Yeah, he does. And of course, Invoker Midas, you know he can catch up. That hero can catch up from anything.
But the difference, I guess, for me this game is they don't have like that limp type Tiny, like someone just giving him space right now. Who's going to create the space for Complexity?
Swindle Maloons!
Yeah, they have a Bristleback who's just, he doesn't do that burst damage like you said, and then Void, they don't have the burst besides the Invoker once he gets more farmed.
Yeah, it's tough when you're behind the burst heroes is the other issue, and support's getting a lot of farm, a lot of levels, and some extra stats to go along with it. We're going to see Complexity very much in the back seat here, kind of forced to react rather than to play offense. And meanwhile, Phoenix farming up bottom lane. This is normally where the Midases start coming out in American Dota.
We have Saska going for one as well. Saksa, I know he gets very upset about the name pronunciation, my bad.
Boy. It's another kill on the top lane. I mean, what do you really do at this point? Actually, he's going to get the chrono to get out. Oh, he lives, but that's 2 minutes where DC can punish pretty heavily.
We really did not want to.
For sure.
I think it would have been worth it for him to come at the lasso, but it was really close to dying.
They'll just lose top tower, and middle lane, we was just in middle tower too, and they can't even catch him.
Just feels like DC have just they're so much more maneuverable at this stage. They are going to jump. It's done on the mid lane. They know there's no chrono shooter. It's really not an easy way for Complexity to disengage. They pop the mech. They try to survive here. Z-Freak with the self-false promise, but that leaves Limp potentially just to the wolves as the ghoul will get onto him. That's 2 down. Swindle's arriving. Can he at least time walk? Kill off Moo potentially? Not going to risk it. Doesn't want to give up another kill. There's the fissure. Enskin will back out, but in the end, DC just, they know Chrono's down and they just go.
Yeah, they got a free top tower right after that resolution, just TB middle to help them fight. And they can almost take middle tower if they really want, and they're going to. They're going to kill Swindle. This time he's dead, I'm pretty sure.
This is going to be a quick game at this rate.
Poor Swindles.
This is, I mean,
I feel
it was
for
pretty
him,
much...
man.
Like, I don't even know what you can... I guess the big thing, we've seen a lot of Voids when they have that like first death or two and it feels like they're starting to lose control of the lane. Like, a lot will just get Iron Talon and just go jungle, but he kept on going back to lane. Do you guys think he should have made that adjustment?
It was so hard for him because they had already taken like the tier 1 tower top, so they had like they could just go into their jungle and find the Void every time they wanted to.
I think Shaker should sit behind so they can stop the shackle and then just use his time walk.
He was behind him the one time, and then Swindles went in after the fissure. So I mean, he's like, "All right, man, if you're just gonna run in like that, I'm not gonna try to save you."
Yeah. There's only so much you can do about suicidal tendencies.
Well, I think this puts to rest, though. Everyone was saying, like, after that first game, man, Complexity, they're just at a completely different level, and then we just see the exact opposite happen. DC, their laning phase is just completely dominant this game.
Well, Complexity gonna try for a bit of a gamble here. They move into the Roach pit, but DC have a lot of time to react to this one. The Roach only about 20% HP gone. Not sure they will. Currently looking at Radiant Vision, they see nobody up in the jungle, nobody pushing or farming the top lane, nobody at the Ancients. Probably suspicious, but not suspicious.
They're probably hoping that the gank Swindles and then they get a free Roche.
That's what Complexity is kind of playing around here, keeping Swindles in the bottom lane, and they will grab the Roshan. So a roll of the dice from Complexity, but a very educated one, and it works out beautifully.
I think it's a big oversight though by DC, because they didn't even use their scan. They have ores on top. No one's farming top lane. All they see is Swindles, so they assume that he's farming behind the bottom. But if they aren't sure, then they can just scan, and then if they're not there, then they're either doing Ancients or Roche. But they also have eyes on Ancients. So they're either smoke behind Swindles or doing Roche.
Oh, big fight bottom here.
They do have that Aegis up on the Bristleback. He's going to move straight onto Resolution. Has an Echo Saber, and the Rage now getting popped. So Resolution, definitely a tanky one. Might need a little help here. Moo's also got the Force Staff available. And he Force Staffs him, but it's to the south, not over the tree line. A bit of an awkward miscue there. As he tries to survive through this, he has managed to pop Infested into a creep, but Ever so Lloyd Tree's going to pop on the armlet, runs back in, dodging away from some of the Earthshaker damage, but he'll go down. The Phoenix Egg will turn this one. Can they kill it off in time? Flip surviving. What a beautiful false promise by Z-Freak to keep him in fighting shape. Quill after quill, raining down upon Digital Chaos. Complexity right back in the thick of it as Swindle time walks out. They're salvaging this fight 3 for 3, but about to get Moo unless he can force step away, which we'll try for while they pursue Swindles. Could be the fourth kill. Nope, the time walk to the high ground there, and then up and away. But Weeha chasing him. Bit too late, gets met by an angry Centaur Conqueror who stomps him and says, "Stop
I wonder
fighting."
how Swindles would have felt if he like doppel walked on him and the Centaur interrupted his teeth. That would have been
a next level play, especially if Weeha was planning it. But of course, no vision there into the stack at that time. So Complexity, 3 for 3. But a gold swing in their favor, as they were trailing prior to that.
very awkward Force Staff. They didn't quite push Lifestealer into the directions that they wanted them to.
Yeah, I think they were DC was really banking on that, and then kind of baiting and turning the fight from there. But
yeah, I think, and then we always middle, like, at the beginning of that team fight, he actually did damage to the base tower. And then he just
Swindles caught out in the mid lane, but Lasso still cooling down for 12 seconds here, or 14 seconds, I should say. And the time dilation. I think a while before you can get it.
Weeha is just super farm. Boots trail. He's gonna have his Fusel now. Yeah, and he's just farm. He can split push. He came in the end of that fight. He got 2 of the. It's gonna be.
Do you feel like they have the late game tools to deal with the PL here, Ben, given the amount of farm that Weeha's getting?
I don't think so. I think like PL's pretty good versus Bristle because you can't kill the Bristle, but you can drain his mana, which is almost as good as killing a Bristle. You'll see a lot of like Bristles struggle with this problem to the late game because it's not like you ever want to really build mana items. Maybe a Shiva's or an Octarine if you have to, but if you can't cast your spells and you don't really have arcane boots, the Diffusal Blade is eventually going to get to you because you don't have enough burst for the illusion.
Misery going for the jump here in the bottom lane as Weeha also moves on top. So they're trying for a 2-pronged assault around the map, maybe try to bait TPs. They're going to get 1 back, and that's right at the moment when our Rasta thinks about going in. Limp down with ease. They just massacred him. Misery actually never jumped, and now he goes. Quickly tries to delete Swindles, but a great vision from Handskin saves the day. May cost them the Handskin though. Shaker gonna go down here, likely gets off the enchant totem, barely surviving, but Weeha's there. He's on the case, gets the kill. So they did manage to find 2 around the map. The Bristleback almost the void, but instead the Shaker will be the sacrifice.
Yeah, that's exactly what Ben said in the late game. The PL literally just ran at Bristle with all his mana, and he literally did nothing to it.
And he's not even done farming yet. Yeah, it's only going to get harder.
Just has a Diffusal Blade and travel, but...
And his mana issues are compounded because he has a mech.
Doesn't have an IO or, you know, a CM or Keeper of the Light. Like, doesn't have that huge source of mana either to work with. It almost doesn't matter against PL. Yeah, healing salve, marking the location where Complexity's tier 2 once proudly stood bottom lane, but that's all that's left there.
I think Halberd would help him out a lot in that department instead of SNY. He does have the same. I'm not sure which one he's going to go for, but going for evasion is kind of giving you mana in the process, and it's also really good versus Lifestealer. So I don't know if it's what he's eyeing for.
But still, it's just in 1800 more gold. Or I mean, if there's a PL on you, the evasion's good, but like I don't think coL armed enough to fight those long team fights. I just don't. They need something like form of a lot of damage out of nowhere.
It's Invoker and a Blink Shaker. That's where you need the magic damage to come from, but neither of them I don't really think can step up to the plate.
I mean, Headscale will just be happy to get a blink by the 30-minute mark at this rate. They at 400 gold.
Has to babysit Swindles too much.
And they called out the smoke gang top too.
Good backup here by Weeha, but Z-Freak, not the hero that can really catch the PL on his own. Fortunately, not going to be able to find him in time. So Weeha also does have a bottled haste right now, and a Yasha online, so PL is getting to that critical mass stage where he can just run over all your backline heroes. We're talking about the Bristle Man fight. He could also potentially just ignore that Bristle and go kill everyone else.
But they have good vision in this area. They can actually take a fight here, but the Infest jump might prove to be too much for them. Let's see where
they pinged out the ward and they got.
They had good vision here, Ben.
Yeah, they have one really good ward.
Yeah, it's still going to be extreme. They don't want to jump it. Phoenix makes it so fighting at this tier 1 top, like, everyone's going to be hit by that egg, and if they don't focus it, they're just going to get, like, run down by the other 3 heroes.
Still a level 1 egg, but Soxa very close to getting the level 2 here. So kind of poking at the tower, but I think, like you said, Grant, extremely risky to push into at this choke point.
They're
especially
so far
without
back.
vision.
I think Oracle's too far back to save him. If they lassoed him while he was facing the tower, I don't think they can save him.
Misery ready to jump here, and at the same time, so too is Moo. Soxa is going to really deter this push, getting on the side, fully charged up, and now they nuke Liv down. Hans goes in with the fissure. They do have that Swindle's blink that they're trying to reveal, and Moo just comes directly to the top of the entire enemy team. Now the lasso, they found themselves the Z-Freak, and he is freakishly dead. Now the Meatball, though, unwound. A beautiful combo coming up from Chessie. Isn't enough. Shaker dropping a feudal echo at the end there. Doesn't seem like it's Weeha. Muscles down. Swindles forcing the TP out, and on the right side of the fight, they bring down Limp as well. 3 have fallen. Chessie, the lone survivor who hasn't TP'd away just yet, and quickly being chased out by Moo. Does invoke the Ghost Walk. Do they have detection for this? Nothing on the Radiant. So he'll blink, he'll TP, but already Weeha, he's straight onto the mid lane. He's working on the tier 3 tower here. DC in full control. The Chrono on cooldown. Even some of the Invoker spells still cooling down. They're going to have an incredibly hard time not losing 1, maybe even 2 lanes direct here.
That was a great jump by Moo.
Yeah, it was, and that was a great ulti by Swindle Melts. I think he got 4 of them, and the Meatball went on 3 of them, but because they're so under level,
they were all
just
under
didn't count
Firefly
up,
though. Like
exactly.
his teammates were under Firefly and they were getting burned by Napalm.
Trying to bring down Weeha here. The Deafening Blast is going to connect. The Sunstrike also deployed, but the Illusions just march right back in. Trying to bring down the melee racks. Seems Complexity have held for now. They're going to chase for a bit more. Swindles doesn't have an ultimate. He just blinks though. Weeha, he gets the first hit bash. Sunray there, man. That's a bold jump by the Void. Isn't going to get punished. Resolution marching in onto Hanskin. It looks like Complexity have been dragged too far out of the base. Could end up losing multiple heroes here as Limp is forced back. The PL diving in deeper and deeper, committing onto Limp, and now the lasso is pulled down. It's onto Swindles again. Where's that help from the Oracle? Doesn't have the false promise available any longer, and they're gonna lose the Void again. So a 2-for-1 exchange once more. Still holding onto the racks, at least for now, but this fight just won't end. Weeha continues to stick around, continues to chug out lance after lance. They go back for Limp, drives Chessie out of the fight, and then he turns for the Bristleback. The Ice Ball deployed, though. Great kiting by Complexity, hanging on for dear life. And it is dear life. 1 more kill there, and I think DC do go for the racks, but Complexity barely able to survive.
And they got a bottom tower too, so I mean, a 1-for-1 trade, and they get a tower, so Mario for Complexity.
The heck was that lasso range? You see that? He like time walked and then he lassoed him after the time walk, but he was standing where he time walked from. It looked like a. I had to double check whether or not he had an Aether Lens, and he did not.
So it seems like I don't know, they've never fixed Shackle on Wind Ranger, so why do it on Bat Rider?
Dota 2.
It looks crazy long. Well, Roshan's up pretty soon. Wards are up on Misery. Misery's dying a lot in these fights. Probably needs a. I don't know what he gets here.
He only has 3 deaths as their 5 support. That's not very much. Huh?
Out of 7 deaths though.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, he's your 5.
Reported.
Yeah, it's just you want him as you want Shadow Shaman alive to the end of the fight though.
Yeah,
he's the best hero at cheesing.
Well, he died because Resolution attacked the Bristleback from behind, and he got like 6 quill sprays on Misery while he was holding him.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
and the other time he got
Resolution
inside the Chrono.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying that they.
No, he died because all the burst damage was on. That's probably why.
They need to find a way to keep him alive though. That'd be nice.
Complexity, they really want to push this heavy to DD Rune up on Limp, but Weehaw does have the Diffusal Blade to try and turn this fight. They get a great chrono from Swindle. Catch out to the Meatball there over the top, layering over the Fissure as well, but they haven't finished anyone off just yet. Echo Slave coming through. Soxa, he gets off the egg in the middle of Complexity. Somebody's got to kill that thing. Resolution, though, trying to prevent it. Swindle to say, hit the egg, damn it, hit the egg, but the wards get dropped. The board suddenly 5.
Wow.
Catastrophe for Complexity, and the instant GG gets called out. They are done with game 2. And we are tied up 1-1 heading into game 3.
Misery died again there, Ben.
He did, and Swindle's time walk is in a tree.
That was just Soxa. He got ulted by the Earthshake. When he jumped in, I thought they might not get that egg off. Then he got the egg off with everyone
That
had their
definitely
double.
won them the fight.
Yeah, that did. That was sick. Phoenix.
Poor Swindles, man.
Poor Swindle.
I mean, it does feel like that off lane tilt and Complexity attempting, and they invested a lot to try and salvage the game for him, and it took so many resources